Between 10 and 50,000 years ago, some enormous animals were walking around here in Newark at a time when the world was covered in ice and snow. We call that time the Ice Age. I wonder if you can guess what kind of animal that was. I'm going to show you something that one of them has left behind. The National Civil War Centre and Newark Museum would like to present you with 12 objects in 12 months. Step closer, meet the past, one object at a time. The animal I'm talking about we call a woolly mammoth, a big hairy elephant. It weighed about the same as a double-decker bus, and it stood as tall as two of me. It had tusks that were as long as 2 or even 3 park benches. I wonder if you can guess which part of its body this was. This is the tooth of a woolly mammoth. This part of the tooth stuck into its jaw, and this part here, this flat side here, was to help it chew the tough plants that could grow through the ice and snow of the Ice Age. And an animal this large, a great big hairy elephant like this, would need to be chewing all day long for about 20 hours just to stay alive. And you can see that as it chews, it wears down its tooth. And as it wears its tooth down, the tooth falls out and the next tooth comes in. This is a baby tooth that fell out of the mouth of one of my children. Must have been dropped by the tooth fairy. A woolly mammoth shed its teeth 6 times during its life, not just once. Now you have about 20 teeth in your mouth, and your parents and other grown-ups have about 30. I wonder if you know how many teeth were in a woolly mammoth's mouth. Actually, woolly mammoths had 4 teeth, 2 at the top and 2 at the bottom. Now every time the mammoth lost its tooth and a new tooth grew in, it was a little bit bigger. And that means that if we measure the mammoth's tooth, we can work out roughly how old it was when it shed its tooth. We think that this mammoth was about 20 years old when this tooth fell out. Mammoths lived to be about 60, so this was quite a young mammoth. We know that Stone Age people hunted mammoths. They hunted them for their food, for their coats, and for their huge curly tusks. Stone Age people followed the mammoth herds all the way from Cresswell Crags to Farmdon, where the mammoths stopped at the river to drink. And while they were drinking, the Stone Age people crept up on them, and they used stone tools to kill them and to chop the meat from their bodies. And you can see that we're displaying one of their hand axes here. And we know that these hand axes were sharp enough to cut up an enormous woolly mammoth, because next to the skeleton of the animal, we have found these tools. Big chopping axes and smaller scraping tools. So the next time you have a wobbly tooth, remember this one.
12 objects. 12 months, 12,000 years of history. Visit us to find out more.